I think, whenever you have a game 10 days in training camp, it's kind of more about yourselves than the other team. They certainly do have, a few kids. The middle linebacker was saying he's number 8. He wore number 8 last year. I mean, he's a good football player. I mean, he's active and gets around. A key question as to whether the Livingston kid, Michael Livingston, returns. He was an outstanding freshman 2 years ago. He did not participate last year, played junior football last year, and so he's one of those guys, that's 6'5", 260, is a bit of a difference maker, tremendous athlete on the defensive line. He's a pretty good player. They're a pesky team. They're athletic. Apparently, they're 2 fifth-year wide receivers. Both of them appealed the CIS to get another year of eligibility, and both were successful, so they're both back. I like the quarterback, Gibbons. Transfer in from the U.S. He made them instantaneously better last year. And then what they have secured, a marquee tailback this year, a kid by the name of Connor Anderson out of Huron Heights, which is a very good high school program there north of the city in Newmarket, Aurora area. And he did go down to the U.S. either to a junior college or a small school. Then he came back. He was slated to go to Guelph, and things didn't work out there, so he's ended up in York. And he's a good player, 6'1", 225, fast. So they got some good receivers. They have a good quarterback. They have a good runner. They have a nice tight end. They got a couple of good, solid fullback type guys now. And their offensive line, for the most part, the bulk of it's going into third year. So third year, you can expect them to be better than they have been. So I think they're a very credible opponent. I really do. Defensively, if you put the Livingston kid back on the defense and the Hussein kid at middle linebacker, and they always seem to have enough athletic type DBs. Kicker, I know of the kicker. I don't know him. I do know this, that he's worked with Don Sweet all summer. And Don said that he was good. That he'll be better for his time with Don. Don will be here on the 26th of August to prepare Dylan Walmsley for the mat game, the home game. So, all in all, I think they brought in 2 full-time guys. They brought in the former offensive coordinator from Laval, a kid by the name of Dwayne Jean. That's his name. So, and then they hired the full-time Ray Gagnon, who was the defensive coordinator at Bishop's. So he and Warren Graney have worked together for many, many years. They've had a long relationship. So their coaching staff seems to have they've beefed it up a little bit. They're sort of moving into like a very curious point in the team's development. I think they've got some good players who are just coming to fruition. So the unnerving thing, no film, no analysis. Like we played them week 1 last year. So although we've got some other tape to look at how they developed, it's, you always want to know what they've had, how they wanted to play us, etc. And we did score some points. We had a few big plays. We had a couple of good runs and plays that looked like they were dead, and then we scored. Some good second effort stuff. So, it's going to be a physical game, I suspect. The accent will be on execution or the lack thereof in week 1 after 10 days. So I would say the 2 teams are probably a lot closer than most people might expect. I'm anxious to get going, but not in a way that the anxiety is negative. Here is the cause for concern, is the unknowns, what's waiting behind the curtain. Are there matchups there that are going to cause you a problem? Have they got their offense clicking now, and they've got a balanced attack, a run, a quarterback who takes off. They run a lot of the zone read type stuff that you see in the CFL because the quarterback is a good ball carrier, decent scrambler. So what he'll do is he'll execute the zone read the end, pull it, take off, and now he's a free flow ball carrier. So the last guy who I described like that was Kyle Quinlan, pretty good at that type of stuff. So when your quarterback can add 5, 6, 7 plays where you need 5, he gets 6, you need 4, he gets 5. Now you just got another lean on I'm using the lean and sort of the legal field, lean on the whole thing. that guy who's pulling on, you gotta play that guy on defense now. And if you have to add in to play that guy on defense, then, you know, you just leave other good athletes more room and space to operate. So, you know, the critical thing is to, you know, like always, I mean, it's a general formula for how to, you know, take control of a ball game. Is on offense, we need to get out there and hold on to the football. It's early in the season. There's going to be some mistakes. So if we can get out there and hold on to the ball, you know, and make sure that there are, you know, pretty significant gaps in time, you know, before their offense gets back out there, I have every confidence that our defense is going to be revved up and ready to go. Some of the guys who've gone through the typical training camp bumps and bruises here are starting to reappear now as we get closer to the game time, so that's good, because that could have been a little disconcerting to go down there, you know, with a 65% complement. But, you know, most of the guys that have made plays around here in the last couple of years are going to be in uniform. We know that they can make plays, and we know that they can play well. We just probably, in some cases, have to chip the rust off. We think that this game is more about us. I mean, it's so yeah, you know, there are things that York has that you have to manage, but it's kind of the unknown as what, you know, what percentage capacity are we at right now? Like, I mean, are we going to play an 80% effort? I mean, you know, there are mistakes. Okay, are there turnovers in a ball game? But geez, we're not going to make those 2 weeks from now. But if you make them on Sunday, you know, all of a sudden it's a closer game. It has an impact on the outcome, that kind of thing. So, but we'll be ready. We'll be ready to go, and you know, we know as much about them as we possibly can. We're almost there. I don't think that it's 100% set, and I don't think that week one we've got everybody that we had hoped would be available, but close. There's still a couple of guys that are, you know, either we've had a little bit of sickness here. I mean, I don't know why. We've had a little bit of that summer flu go through. That's affected the team a little bit. Most of those guys are back, but then there's a few guys that have got sort of the typical training camp bumps and bruises that are, you know, they haven't practiced in 3 or 4 days now, so, you know, their availability for Sunday has become, you know, very much an open question.